Coming up on this episode of the Weekend Warm-Up, North End legend and first-team coach Paul Gallagher joins us in the studio. We'll go behind the scenes with new signing Josh Murphy on his first day at Euxton, and we'll chat with two former North Enders who also played for Bristol City. All that and so much more on the Preston North End Weekend Warm-Up. Yes, indeed. So warm welcome to the Weekend Warm-Up here at Euxton, and we've got a very special guest, as we mentioned there. Paul Gallagher. It still seems strange to be calling you the first team coach, despite the fact that it's been a few months now since you've had that role. So that's where we'll start. How's it feeling being part of the coaching staff officially?
No, I'm enjoying it. I was lucky enough at the end of last season to turn my hand to it for the last 8 games, which I really enjoyed. And then you have to call time on your playing career if an opportunity like this comes around. And it was always something that I wanted to look into. You know, from a young age, I'd been interested in coaching. I did the under-16s for 2 seasons, and I really enjoyed that. And this was always going to be my, obviously, transition when I finished playing. So I've really enjoyed it. You know, spending time on the pitch with the lads, try to put my own ideas in, and see how they get on with it, and they've enjoyed it. So. I'm enjoying it, and long may that continue.
We will talk a little bit about your playing career, which is sort of still going, as you've probably seen on social media the last week or so. But as far as the first team are concerned, is it now a case that the performances are getting the results which it has deserved?
Yeah, if we go right back to the beginning, and against Hull we scored after 8 minutes, and we're thinking everything we've worked on has gone to plan. But sometimes setbacks come along, it's how you react to them. And obviously the next, I think Reading, we shouldn't have lost that game. Huddersfield, we should never have lost that game. But then players, you need confidence, and with confidence you have to win games. Winning games breeds confidence, and I think you can see that in the last game against Swansea. I thought we were excellent from the first minute to the 90th minute. And in the Championship, you need performances for 90 minutes. If you're only going to do it for 45 minutes, it won't be enough. To win games at this level is tough. And the lads are stand up to the challenge, and we've had a good week last week before the international break.
And a good sign, I suppose, of the confidence that's now in them, for the Swansea game at least, is that they went behind and then still managed to bring a result and a performance which they ultimately did.
Yeah, but we always tell them, believe in your own ability. They're good players. To play at this level, you've got to be a good player, and be brave. You know, don't sit back as a back five. Play free at the back, get the 2 wing backs high, and I think the 2 wing backs who've come in have shown great legs, great attitude, getting up and down the pitch, and just whole as a team they've been on the front foot, and like you say, showing that bounce back ability, there you go, a word for you, of coming from behind. So it was good to see that, and long may that continue, and I think the squad is in a good place at the minute.
I don't think I've heard that word for about 15 years. It's nothing if not topical here on the Weekend Warm-Up. More from Gally shortly, and we'll be reminded about those Swansea City goals as well. But let's have a look forward now to the Bristol City game, and we've spoken to a couple of former players who've had a foot in either camp. Rob Edwards shortly, but we'll start off with Marcus Stewart. And when I've mentioned Stewie, a lot of people have gone, are you sure he played for Preston North End? He did 5 times. The 2006 promotion push, where we came up against a Leeds United. We'll ask him about that and the floodlight failure. Do you remember that at all? No. Well, to be fair, neither did Marcus Stewart.
I know who Marcus Stewart is, yeah.
Yeah, but not the floodlight failure. He didn't remember much of his 5 games, but he certainly enjoyed his time at North End. Stewie, it was all very brief, too brief, your time at Preston North End. Looking back on it now, what are your memories?
God, it was a short stint, I know that. I think it's 3 months maybe, and then we got into the playoffs, so it went on for another couple of weeks. Obviously, we got in the final, well, went on a couple of more weeks. But I actually really enjoyed my time there, if I'm honest. I know it's brief. I really like Billy as a manager. The lads there were very welcoming, from David Nugent to Graham Alexander. Really good lads, good team spirit there, and it was nice to be involved in a promotion push, really. The truth is, I probably wasn't fit enough when I got there. But I was there to help out when needed. And I kind of knew my role within the team. I wasn't going there expecting to play every game. But I felt my role was different when I got there. To have a bit of experience, and so I've been in those situations quite a number of times before with Sunderland and Ipswich. So I saw it as a great move, and I enjoyed it. It was a bit brief. I wanted to stay on. It's the truth. But I think Billy might have had other ideas in his mind in terms of where he was going to go next. So, yeah, I ain't got nothing bad to say apart from the fact that, I didn't leave on a high and get into a final. I know I only played one of the playoff games, not even one, but it was nice to be involved.
You didn't lose a game, by the way. Well, certainly while you were on the pitch, you played 4 games in the sort of the normal season, and then, as you say, the second leg of that playoff back at Deepdale, and you were I didn't have my season ticket at the time, and you very kindly got me a ticket that season because I'd been going to most of them, but on a ticket rather than my season ticket. So thanks again for that, albeit 20 odd years later now. But you don't really remember much of that game, do you? I remember halftime you being substituted and then the floodlights conking out, and just wondering whether the two might have been related. Looking back on it now,
may have been.
It wasn't. It wasn't. Just for the record, that was a joke.
Of course not. And until you just mentioned that to me, I didn't actually remember that. I have a good way. I don't know how I do it, but I have a good way of putting things that aren't very nice that happened to me to the back of my mind and forget about them. I got subbed that night, half time, as you said. The lights went out. We lost the game. So in my mind, that didn't really happen.
Get in the sea.
And that's not the only time I've done that. People have reminded me of other bad periods in my career, and I very rarely remember them. I remember brief moments, but I couldn't tell you about the game as a whole and give you a commentary back on them now.
And the other reason why we're talking to you, other than the memories of that season when once again we nearly got to the promised land, but as I said, you were on loan from Bristol City, which was your boyhood team. So they've only played 2 of their 6 games at home so far this season. They drew against the team whose name I can't remember or wouldn't like to say, and they lost against Swansea, who North End beat last time out. So are they beatable this season for North End at Ashton Gate?
I think they are. I still think they're finding their feet a little bit with the players that he's brought in, and obviously the end of last season didn't finish well for Bristol City. So yeah, I still think they're finding their feet, but I know what the City crowd are like, and they can be quite hostile either way towards their team and with their team. So, you can easily, if things get off to a good start, or you keep the crowd quiet and you keep their attacking players quiet. I can see it going, the fans turning a little bit because they want a result at home and they want to see good football. That's what I can see happening.
Just finally, can we persuade you to come up to Deepdale once again at some point in the future?
Listen, I haven't been back to Sunderland to watch a game. I haven't been back to Ipswich to watch a game. I haven't been back to Bristol City since I left to watch a game. I haven't been back to Bristol Rovers to watch it. Oh no, I have Bristol Rovers on the radio like the other week. I haven't been back to Exeter. I haven't been back to most of my ex-clubs, is the honest truth. And I've been back to Deepdale, of course. But that was pretty difficult before when I was a coach. I was assistant manager at Walsall and Bristol Rovers, and you're playing exactly the same times and exactly the same days. So it's quite difficult. So in the past year and a half, we obviously hadn't had the opportunity to go and watch games live because of what's happened and what's happening. So I aim to do that sort of stuff at some point this season, wherever that is, and wherever I can go, that'd be great. As it happens, I'm going to watch a test this weekend in England v India at Old Trafford. So that'd be another little bucket list. It's something I wanted to do all my life. So yeah, I will watch more games. There's no doubt about that. I'll definitely go watch Bristol City and Bristol Rovers because it's my city and they're the clubs I was brought up with. Obviously, one more so than the other one, but the other one has a place in my heart as well because of what they've done for me as a youth team player and brought me through as a footballer. So I will definitely go and watch those because they're close. And if I'm up that way, which I am quite a lot up in Manchester, I may even go watch Preston. But so many things I want to do. I've got to just try and get the balance right.
Right, let's bring back some memories of Bristol City then. Good ones for you, playing against them?
Plenty. Even goes back to League One season. They was up there with us and MK Dons. We had some real good games. I think we beat them at Ashton Gate and we drew 1-1 at Deepdale. I think Betford scored. And then we were 1-0 up, I think, and then the big striker scored for them. Wilbraham scored to make it 1-1. So we had some real good battles with them over the years. And as I said, coming up from League One, going to the Championship, we played against them many times, and we've had a good record against them.
A great record. I think I'm right in saying that until the defeat last season, it went back 15 games unbeaten against them. Do you go to games, when there are games like that, when you go to a game or a stadium that you know you've got a really good record against, is there something that goes, actually, I fancy this again today? Is that how it works?
I think it does. I think it funnels through the whole team, even the fans. They think, well, Preston are coming to town, we don't do very well against them. And you have them in your career, you have teams who you play against who you think, oh, we score against them. And I think one of the stats is Bristol City is probably the team that I've beat the most in my career. So I'm looking forward to obviously going back there against the manager who I played for, in Nigel Pearson. So I know him really well, and some of the players there obviously brought some of the Leicester lads back.
There's a few, isn't there?
Yeah,
Matty James, who was at North End for a while
was,
there, isn't he?
Good
Yeah.
lad, Andy King, Simpson. So they've got a few Leicester players in there, but I've always had a good record against Bristol, and I've enjoyed playing against them. I think even the managers they've had prior to that, they've always been wary of us. They said once the midfield that we had was probably one of the strongest to play against, so that was a good compliment to get off their manager. Hashtag
teams like Preston. I think people will come to mind. I can't use the other word that they use when they talk about stuff like that, but you know what I'm talking about. You said yourself you did well against Bristol City. The goal, 2017?
Yeah, I remember it. I played right wing that night, so I had Darnell behind me, I was right wing. I think the tactic, well, they had Joe Bryant playing, so they wanted me to play off him, not up against him, so he had to come, obviously, and try and mark me. And the goal, a good build-up, throwing a step over. I think Jordan tries getting a shot off, rebounds back to me, I swivel, and managed to score, and I think that might have been my first goal that season, but no, I enjoyed it, and like I said, the record we've had down there has been excellent.
Well, hopefully that continues this weekend. Just a reminder that the full commentary you can watch in all the usual places, listen in the usual places in this country. Guy Clark is joined by Rob Edwards, former Bristol City and Preston North End fullback himself, and we had a chat with him leading up to the game. He was a bit tired, he'd been in Croatia with the Wales under-19s during the week, but we start with a reminder as a fellow fullback about that goal that Sepp Vandenberg scored last time out against Swansea.
Galicic finds Ledson, now Earl. North End trying to respond instantly here. It could fall to Vandenberg. Great finish! What a response from North End, and Sepp Vandenberg gets his second goal in as many games to light up Deepdale here, and the Swansea cheers are short-lived thanks to the fine touch and finish from Sepp Vandenberg.
Yeah, I actually first saw him playing for the Netherlands against Wales under 19 players. Was really impressed with him, and then he went to Liverpool, and you sort of sometimes players can disappear, can't they? Next minute he's at Preston. I didn't know he was a right back, but obviously a talented boy who's could play in a couple of positions. And the players, I think now the skill set of players, defenders are possibly more skillful and more technique than maybe in my day, so maybe they will score more goals, but he's certainly a talented boy. I've watched him play a lot of times, good on the ball and can nick a goal.
And wing backs as well, rather than necessarily, I mean, like you say, I think I'd only seen him once at right back and for Liverpool's under 19s maybe or 21s, but never had him down as the wing back like that. But it's quite exciting watching North End now that they seem to be getting the thread together, doesn't it?
Yeah, that sort of, three centre halves and the aggressive wing backs. A lot of teams play that, and I think it just shows that those three centre halves have got to be able to defend, good on the ball, and like I say, if you're a wing back, you get high up the pitch and possibly will score a few goals. I know a lot of teams are playing that way. Even when the ball's down, it used to be when the ball was on the other side of the pitch, you sort of went back as made a back four and let the other wing back attack. But now it seems like both wing backs are quite aggressive and get forward.
Pep sort of did that for a while, didn't he? Sort of with the back four becoming a three and all that sort of stuff. But like you say, it's not reinventing the wheel. But going into this one, fondly thought of, 5 years at Preston North End, 8 seasons, I think I'm right in saying, with Bristol City as well. So how do you weigh this one up going into the game this weekend?
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. I've always thought not only are the the clubs very they seem to mirror each other. They had a sort of spell in League One, and they've both been in the Championship for a long time now. Similar sized clubs. Bristol City have invested quite heavily in their squad sort of the last 4 or 5 years and haven't got where they want to get to. North End the same. I think they're really closely matched, both teams. I think neither team are a favourite to get promoted this year, but I think with a good season and a solid season, I think either team can push for the playoffs. On the day, who knows? I think it's very closely matched. I think the first goal is obviously a big factor. I know Bristol City have not been great at home, I think, for a long time, possibly 2 or 3 years, and been really good away from home. So Ashton Gate's not, a fortress. I think Bristol City will be keen to turn their home form around. So North End, if they look at the Bristol City's home form, they'll fancy the chances down there.
I think they've only played 2 of the 6 so far this season at home, Bristol City. So it's maybe favoured them a little bit. But you were saying before about how North End will have that psyche of the Swansea win going into this one. The other South Wales team across the other side of the 7 from Bristol City, that was some result, wasn't it? And Vyman's goals and just his general play seemed to be a different level. Yeah,
Bristol City away from home are good. They've got good pace on the counter attack. They always seem to do well over at Cardiff. That was a big result for the manager, big result for the club and the fans. They always like beating your rivals, don't it? It seems to sort of bring everyone together as well. So I think Saturday will be a good atmosphere down there. There'll be a lot of home supporters who will be pushing the team on. So it'll be a tough game for North End.
And you're part of the commentary team this weekend as well. I'm sure you're looking forward to it. Is Nigel Pearson one of those that tends to try and get everybody up and running, doesn't he? But maybe the North End following faithful can shout us home as well.
Yeah, he's had a tough start, the manager. Last year was difficult, obviously with no fans there, and they didn't win too many home games. But he's an experienced manager. There's a lot of experienced managers in the Championship. The teams do go with the experience, don't they? Nigel's been there, got promoted out of the league, so he can handle a slow start. But he'll want to get things moving, I think, in the right direction for Bristol City.
Have you got, dare I ask you for a pre-match prediction, given the fact that you've got a foot in both camps?
Yeah, I don't think North End will lose the game. I think it'll be a really tight game. I'll probably edge to a draw, a scoring draw, if not North End shading it. But I don't think North End will lose the game. I think Bristol City, for whatever reason, are still a far stronger outfit away from home.
We'll take that now, Rob, if that's on offer, please.
Well, unfortunately, it doesn't work like that, but I would as well.
So Rob Edwards is predicting a win. Gally, I'm sure, agrees with that as well. He does agree with that as well. But let's hear now from the head coach, Frankie McAvoy, who's hoping to build on the good form from just before the international break.
I've always said, what we'll do is we'll deal with each game and its merits. We're going to Ashton Gate, Bristol City. I said to you, it'll be a tough game. I expect nothing but a tough game. But we'll go there, prepare ourselves as best we can to go and try and win the game. I felt our performance against Swansea showed that we'd sort of cranked it up a bit, and if we can sustain that type of level of performance, then it should be a good game, and I'm really looking forward to it. I keep saying, let's just deal with the one game. Blinker, deal with Bristol City. Let's go and try and win that game. If we can get a positive result, 3 points on the board, then brilliant, and then we'll look forward to the one after that. But at the moment, it's just full focus in Bristol City.
So you can hear more from Frankie McAvoy on I Follow P&E. You can hear and watch an interview with Andrew Hughes. Now, 2 new boys coming in the transfer window late on as well in Josh Murphy, Ali McCann. Interviews with them on I Follow as well. They've been very busy here this week. But as far as you're concerned, how have they settled in?
Yeah, Josh obviously came in first because obviously Ali was away with Northern Ireland. But as a coach, it's always good to get new players, and as a player, new players walk through the door, they see a challenge. Everyone's got to be on the mettle because they want to play. New players are coming in to play, so the training goes up a notch. People are aware, people coming through the door, so competition for places is good. But as a coach as well, it's good to coach other players and see the personalities, the mentalities, the way they want to work. And yeah, I think it's a good step in the right direction from the club.
I know sometimes when players come in, we as fans need a little bit of patience perhaps to try and get acclimatised with a new way of playing, a new squad, a new area to live. I think people forget sometimes, well, they are human beings after all. Do they need time, or do you feel that they're sort of, where are they?
They probably will need a bit of time, but in Josh's case, he's playing the Championship, he knows what it's about. You know, he's moved for big money in his career. So, but Ali, a young, hungry player who we played in pre-season, was at St Johnstone. Looks like he's going to have a fantastic career ahead of him. I watched him play for Northern Ireland. You know, he plays on a regular basis for the first team with Northern Ireland, and his own manager speaks very highly of him, Colin Davison, who obviously played here. So, you know, Ali, he'll be hungry to come in and do well as a young player. You play with that no fear. Will the price tag bother him? I don't think so. With his mentality, he's used to winning. He's won two trophies already as a young player. And with Josh, yeah, he's got that electric pace that scares defenders, and you know, if we can use that and he can get going, then we've got two good players on our hands.
Decent competition in midfield now, isn't there?
Yeah, it's livening up, and you want that though. As a player, when I played, I know I was older when I got there, but a lot of younger players were coming in. It kept me hungry. My attitude was, you're going to have to work hard to take my shirt. So it kept me going a lot longer, and I'm sure the lads in there have got the same attitude, and you know, that's only good for the squad.
Is now a good time maybe to mention about how your playing career is being extended slightly, on Sundays mostly?
Yeah, well, this conversation's happened for quite a while. One of my best friends is the manager of Poppy May, and Poppy May is a football club in Blackburn, Sunday League, and it's a club that raises awareness for children with cancer. So, you know, he always came on to me and said, will you play a game for us, or play a couple of games for us to raise awareness, and hopefully, you know, that's helped. I love football, so you know, you want to play. I was a bit sore for 2 days because I haven't played for 6 months while playing a charity match, but yeah, it's good to be back out there and just try and help a good cause.
Great to see you, good stuff as well. Don't go anywhere yet, that's not me getting rid of you, because we're going to have a little behind the scenes peek now of that new signing, Josh Murphy, and we followed him with our cameras on his first day here at Euxton.
Got our women's session, so I'm going to make a clear part tomorrow. Yeah. Just sit there. Right, we go. Ah, yeah. Don't mind sitting here. DJ's yours. Okay. Show them here. Yes. Okay. Yes, man. Pretty good. Yeah, no, really good. Yes. Physio department. Paul, Josh Murphy.
Hi, Josh. Yeah, well. How are you? Nice to meet you.
Stan. Nice to meet you, brother. Nice to meet you, Josh Murphy. It's a bit amazed, Josh. You get Oh, lovely. Can you leave us in? Hang on, Josh. In terms of the training. And this is obviously where the main pitch. This is exactly the deal with the other full-size pitches on the side. And that pitch as well.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
All I need is a football, and I'm good to go.
Yeah. Hopefully you'll do all right. If you want to sit in the steam room, if he's on next time, that's the short minutes of waves. The guys up there, hot and cold, fire pools. Okay. Yeah. And then that should go also back to here, or length you are. So you don't get anything. How do you think? Well, you stay through here. It's where you get to the training. So you come in here, get your boots. Yeah. And then you straight out. And then to the training fields. Yeah. Start from the grounds to Tom, that most at any of the pitches here for training. Yeah. Alright, so it's more than 10:30. We're starting. So you come this way. Stand for you, Dick. 7%. Good play. Better. Possible.
Well remembered though. That's it. Just on it, that's it. And then oh, he's got it now. He cracked it. Brilliant. And then if you go, brilliant.
I'm getting good now.
Sorry.
Nice. Cool. Yeah, I loved it. It was a nice surprise coming to the training ground, seeing the facilities because they're pretty outstanding. So, no, it's been a good 48 hours. It's a great bunch of lads. So I'm settling in nicely, and hopefully more exciting times ahead.
So that's pretty much it for the weekend warm-up. Just before we do finish though, because we have to talk just for one last time about Bristol City. And if you haven't got a ticket yet, don't travel because you can't pay on the gate. But how important, the ones who are going and the ones of us who listen online or around the world that can watch it on iFollowPeony as well, do you feel all that coming through to you?
Oh, it's been magnificent, since fans have come back from the first game of the season. Football's nothing without the supporters, and you could see that, the away travelling fans we have are excellent. Even when we went to Reading, Huddersfield, excellent. And the players appreciate that, and it works two ways. The fans, if they see the players putting in that effort, that endeavour, they'll get right behind them. And then at Deepdale as well, I think the fans have been excellent. It could have been a different place. We went 1-0 down against Swansea. They stayed with us all the way to the end, and we got the result. So, yeah, support is massive in football, and like I said, all the players, all the staff appreciate the support we get.
Good stuff. Good luck. Hopefully for 4 out of 4. We'll cross our fingers. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Preston North End official channel. But there is one more thing in there as well, because obviously Marcus Stewart was talking about the floodlights failing. So let's just do that. There we go, as if by magic the lights come down, and it's almost like another thing. You didn't think that we'd forgotten that it was your birthday this week, did you?
I don't know, no one mentioned it.
Well, it is your birthday this week, so we've no expense spared. We've got you a very special cake here as well. There were more candles than that, but there we go. And hopefully we've got your age right there as well. So, is that right?
Well, my date of birth's 08, not 04.
It's what? Oh, it's your IQ, right? So, couldn't resist it. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
To you. That's it. If I'm still alive, if he's not caught up for the 40-year-old one, we'll see you next week on the weekend warm-up. Actually looks like a nice cake as well. There you go. I knew you were going to do that.